G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's very different video on YouTube. We've got a plane that's flying in the background. Hopefully there'll be more planes tomorrow because I'm about to do some plane spotting on Saturday, which is of course tomorrow. It's a Boeing 737, I'm pretty sure, is it Ryanair? I'm pretty sure it's that airliner. But down the ground here, we've got a mixture of various good news and bad news to my plants, flowers, and other crops alike, being fruits and vegetables. But let's take that. I'd probably say one of the broad beans. This one here at the very further ground, the very further background, as I like to call it. That one there. Amazingly, the broad beans have actually started to flower, which is actually quite unusual. I don't have the time to pretty much transplant them into like rows and make them more stand up, just because, yeah, they're pretty much, I suppose, eh? But anyways, here's one of my first broad beans. Oh, not really one of the first broad beans, I suppose, eh? But we've got some very cute looking white flowers with big black speckled spots. I don't know what they are, but they're really good for bees. That's what I've heard. They are really nicely suited for pollinators, which is one of the nicest things about them. If we get more bees in the backyard garden, then hopefully we can get a very good rich harvest. And there was a crow that was just flying past underneath, actually flying on the top of me, actually. Well, actually just from here, I suppose. I didn't see the bird, but anyways, we've got some nasturtiums. Lots and lots of small baby nasturtiums. And actually these seedlings, as I said earlier on before, are derived from old stock that I planted last year. Same with these ones here. And are these the old stock or are these the newer stocks? Correct me if I'm wrong, I'm pretty sure these ones are the newer stock. That were from like, I'm pretty sure they were derived from the offsides. I'm pretty sure all these baby nasturtiums are derived from the old stock that came from 2025. And guess what? Look at this. They are highly taking over my backyard garden. I mean, this is so freaking crazy. Look at all the baby nasturtiums. And as they come in different palmate sizes and different shapes and all things, and also a bit of colour variations on the green here. That one there looks pretty much lime green. And that one there is just a proper chlorophyll sort of green. Who knows? I think seeing that lime green shade is a bit concerning, because I'm just hoping that the leaves, I'm just hoping they're not going to die out. I'm just very fearful that it could potentially die out. Anyways, I just hate to think of what kind of disease the nasturtiums would potentially have. Some of them are broken, others are totally doing fine. We've got some big nasturtiums along with some calendulas. That one there has pretty much survived the brunt. That one there is quite a very good one. A very nice, big, chunky sized seedling. And although it has suffered quite a few battle damages from aphids and things, it's actually done quite pretty good. And we've also got a bit of extra growth. And I'm sort of thinking, will there be a flower sometime around midsummer? I'm hoping there will be. There will be a flower sometime around midsummer. Anyways, which will be like late June or early July, or maybe around mid-July or late July. I can't really tell. It's also quite unusually cold for June, but yeah, something like that. I think it's, yeah, I can definitely feel the wind. It's actually a little bit too autumnal, a bit chilly if you ask me. But anyways, we've got a bumblebee that's buzzing in the background. Hopefully, I think that's a buff-tailed bumblebee. There was quite a lot of other bees, like common carder bees, that were growing in my back. Well, actually, they were flying around and buzzing around in my backyard garden. Very nice little things. Very essential to have them, I suppose, hey? Anyways, we've got lots of other sunflower seedlings. They're actually growing very, very nicely, and they're actually doing particularly well. I don't know what to say, but these plants are very nice. Very, very cool things. Anyways, let me just go ahead and show you what else. We've got more nasturtiums. Man, the wind is playing up around this environment here. Mind you, the tool shed doors are going to pretty much slam. I don't know what to really say, hey? Pretty sure that wind is going to pretty much make them slam them down, just to make a very weird knocking noise. Or some sort of thud. I don't know. Right, so, interestingly, apart from the nasturtiums and also the calendula seedlings, which I've also grown, we've also got some pumpkin seedlings. And they're also sort of integrated by other plants. They're actually sort of... Oh, sorry about that. That was another onion. Okay, there's another one of these onions I've grown so far. So I've got 2 onion seedlings. So I've got one in the big pot and there's one in the small pot, which is very, very nice to know. I don't know how I'm going to grow these things. I feel like I need to go and get more flower beds and other plant pots and other things, because I need some more extra, extra basic space to grow them. It's becoming a little bit difficult, I know. And then this one here, this calendula seedling here is probably, I don't know what to really say. Looks like it's sort of a bit tarnished, but then hey, it's sort of growing quite well. Yeah, I'm not really familiar when plants sort of grow a little bit contorted like that. I sort of prefer plants which grow a bit straight. Alright, okay, let me just go ahead and just pivot my way through. I'm just going to pivot my location towards here. Right, there's a lot of like plant pots and stuff everywhere. I've got a lot of like empty plant pots everywhere in my backyard garden because I've been doing a lot of transplanting and things like that. So, with that being said, I'm going to move this up and I'll show you the pumpkin seedlings that I've grown so far. That one there is pretty much the chunkiest that I've grown so far. I think that might be right for me to transplant that big pumpkin seedling like that. And there's actually quite a few. That one there is also doing very, very well. I can start to see just a few of these are starting to grow exceptionally well. I think what really hampers the performance is the temperatures. Let's just say the utter chillier temperatures might actually hamper the growth of these plants. But hopefully if we get enough hot days during the summer, they actually grow fairly well. I might have to probably transplant these things, and there's actually quite a bit of a pumpkin seedling like that. I can start to see a few pumpkin seedlings popping out, which is nice to know. I might have to probably buy some more pumpkin seeds and start growing them. Oh my crikeys, I'll be ending up having like a giant pumpkin patch or a pumpkin grove. But I don't have the space for it, sadly. I don't know. Anyways, what I'm going to do is show you, there's about 4 of these sunflower seedlings. I've just got about 4 of them. I'm surprised that, hey, only 4 have technically survived. This one here is probably the best, although it has suffered quite a lot of decay so far from all of its leaves, and there's also a bit of diseases and whatnot. Not that great to know. And then this one here is probably, I think that one is probably better in condition than this one right here, although that one there is a bit, probably that one there is a bit taller than this one here. That one there is probably, looking a little bit worse for wear, I suppose, so it's not doing that great. And then this one here is, neither that one there is good. I can't really tell. But anyways, we've got a big swathe of nasturtiums, some of which are from the old stock, and others are basically just newer nasturtium seedlings that were just purchased from a separate product of seedlings, if you can know what I mean. Right, I'm just going to go ahead and corner around. We've got more calendula seedlings, more nasturtium seedlings, and the wind is blowing and hustling about. Not that great to know. There's a lot of like windiness going around here, eh? Bit strange. There was a bit of showery rain activity earlier on as I was making the video. I just came back home from my volunteering trip via the Penn Museum. Okay, but I'm not going to tell you where it is. Something like, you know, the Julie Quarter and things like that, but I won't pretty much tell you whatever the hell that place was. We've got more calendulas here, and I can start to see, yes, there's another sunflower seed. Actually, there's about 5. I initially thought there was about 4. So there's actually about 5 sunflower seedlings, which are actually starting to grow well. This one here is probably looking quite good, but I think that might be the latest, because I think it's been sort of surpassed by the other sunflower seedlings. But we've got a lot of calendula seedlings, which are actually quite nice. They're actually doing quite good. Mind you, the roots look a little bit sticky, and so a bit yucky, I suppose. So we've got a lot of rainwater over here on these trays here, because we had quite a lot of rain. We had a stack of rain so far during this year's summer. Anyways, I'm going to show you what else is here. We've got a lot of broad bean seedlings, and also speaking of broad bean seedlings, if I would have just presented one of the best ones that I've had so far, I think it's this. That one there has got a lot of flowers, and it really boasts so much. Going by the looks of it, it boasts so well in its stature, and it also boasts so well in terms of how many flowers there are. These black speckled white flowers have actually been quite attractive to bees. And also other pollinators like butterflies, for example. They've been doing very well. But I would definitely think that the stature is... I think that wind, if it gets a bit too breezy, then it may not be that good for the plants to be like that. Because if I wanted to grow, well, let's just say broad beans or peas, for example, I might have to probably go and get like wooden stilts or sticks and then hammer them down so that they are attached to the broad beans themselves, or they're pretty much just a thing to assist with the beans to grow them, I suppose, because, you know, if I don't include them, they might probably fall down and die. That's what I'm probably guessing. Oh well, it's a bit difficult to talk, I suppose. Sorry, I'm just surrounded by so many other things. I can't talk properly. But anyways, we've got a lot of broad beans. There's actually quite a dozen of broad beans. I never thought I'd be growing that many broad beans during the course of April. I could have just grown a second batch during May. But I think that might be a bit too late now, I suppose. I mean, who knows? Should I grow even more, or should I just save them for next year? Yes. Okay, so, and that wind is hustling about. Again, it is blustering right over my backside. It's probably got a freaking door somewhere. Right, so we've got a lot of like broad beans here, which is quite nice to know. The best of the flowering plants, I suppose. So it reminds me of a bit of foxglove and a bit of delphinium, if you know what I mean. Anyways, I might show you what else is here. We've got another broad bean, which looks like it's struggling to keep its stance very much right up. Although, do bear in mind that there's actually quite a lot of flowering activity right here, like so many of the other broad beans I've just planted. I'm really surprised that they have remained intact. And there's another plane on the background. I keep on telling you, there's a lot of jets so far. I wonder what's happening with a lot of jets. I wonder what's happening going around the Middle East with Donald Trump and also the Strait of Hormuz. I don't want to really know about that freaking subject. It's probably even more worse than just talking about 6-7, right? Or even just as worse as talking about 6-7. Okay, that was a TUI Boeing 737 to wherever, Birmingham Airport. Maybe for some landing, I don't know. Okay, going back to the background, and sorry, that was me ranting about just how completely adversive times have been. Right, so we got more broad beans here. This one here has, unfortunately, started to, yeah, this one here is probably dying, so I wouldn't probably class myself as a great plant, but as you can start to see, hey, I'm just going to pull apart the flowers. That's what they all look like. Here, I think basically this one is dying out because I think this one here has suffered so badly from the winds it has suffered from, and it's also lost its husky shell thing. Yeah, I don't know why, but I seem to realise, hey, that plant is sort of dead. In fact, it's officially dead because I've just ripped it apart. There you go, there's the black and white speckly sort of flowers here. Fancy that? Right, I'm just going to go ahead and have a look at even more stuff. We've got a big calendula seedling that's actually next to a big nasturtium seedling. I mean, look at that. That's giving me like 2025 vibes, but with extra shrubbing from like the meadows that I've grown so far. There's also, might have been like a combination between weeds and other plants. We've got a few wheat right here as well. And then this one here, is that like field mustard? I can't really tell what that is, but I think it is heavily derived from the meadow section of my backyard garden. We've got buttercups and other things that are growing in the backyard garden. So there's actually quite a big combination of all sorts of other plants that are growing here. More broad beans, like this one here has just been transplanted. Again, it has started to suffer a bit from the wind. And then there's also a pea seedling, which kind of looks like, I don't know, looks like some sort of skyscraper whenever I see that. It's quite a very nice pea seedling. Who knows, it's going to bring out some like flowers and things. That's wonderful. I can tell you what, my backyard garden is in full swing today. Mind you, not only because I haven't been doing any backyard gardening for a long period of time, but yeah. Okay, so let me move on to the strawberries. Okay, so with the strawberries, this one here has been ripening so gratefully, as you can see. Very, very nice and red, but I need to try and wait for at least about 8 to 10 more hours of decent amount of sunlight because we had a lot of... Yeah, following the heat wave that we had from like last week, it seems like we're now going back into some like proper autumnal weather. That's what the UK is very much notorious for. Yeah, it's not the greatest, I could tell the guys, eh? We've got another big strawberry which looks like this. And yes, there's also a few flowers. This one here is probably starting to lose its petals, which is quite good to know, because once your strawberry loses petals, they'll start to make way for some fruit, which is very, very nice to know. And this one here is probably close to ripening. Actually, that one is. That one there is close to ripening. Tell what, having two strawberry seedlings is better than just having one. Fantastic to know. I might have to probably think about buying more compost from tomorrow, or get some more compost for tomorrow, just because I've got so many seedlings. I feel like I've got so many emergency plant pots to try and transplant that much plants. I'm actually in a giant meddling affair to try and get all these plants transplanted into the backyard gardens as soon as possible before winter hits. Oh, I don't know what to really say. I almost kind of feel like I'm freaking over at this, but hey, this is amazing. Right, I might as well just pretty much sign off for today's video, and that's going to be about it for today's backyard gardening sort of tour around. In that case, I might as well just leave it. And I've actually got some weird clattering. There's actually quite a lot of clapping and clattering noises from I think it's from the tree. Hang on, sorry. Just getting a little bit. I think I'm just hearing sounds of birds fighting in the backyard garden. Hey, what is going on? What is going on in the backyard garden? Please stop fighting. Okay, I think there were just a couple of wood pigeons like fighting, I suppose. I don't know if there was like a male or a female just confronting of each other about... Oh, okay, I can just see... Yes, you guys need to stop fighting right now. Okay, you guys, okay, please stop it. Stop fighting. Okay, it looks like that these birds have been starting... Yeah, you can start to see what's going on here. It's literally on the verge of mating season. So it looks like that those pigeons have been making a bit of clattering and stuff with their feisty looking wings. I have to say, hey, these wings, I mean, these birds are straightforward, they're straightforward determined. It looks like that these birds are straightforward, they're sort of competitive. It looks like this one here, I think that might be a very aggressive looking male that's chasing after a female, and then there's another male ganging up towards. It looks like, who knows, these pigeons should be jailbirds, because you know why? I can hear some police motorcycles on the background. Can I see them? Nah, not hearing that much going around here. Ah, first off, we've got some criminal pigeons, and then all of a sudden, secondly, we've got some police to stop this war.
Yep, the police are coming, mate. They're coming to get the birds.
They are indeed. There's some... Oh, yeah. They are indeed. I just got a weird neighbour talking to me like a garden. Of course they are. That was quite weird. Anyways, I'm just going to go ahead and showcase... Oh, okay. That's a bit weird. That was a very strange ending. I didn't even realise this. We've got a couple of wood pigeons that are, like, brawling at each other. It feels like these birds are straightforward committing a bit of a hefty sort of crime, which I've got no idea whatever the hell they're doing. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like, maybe there was like some sort of, yeah, that's kind of weird. Maybe some sort of female pigeon just being, well, let's just say completely stunned by a couple of males just fighting at each other and confronting, and who's like the best mate to try and produce the best young. I suppose that's pretty much what biology sort of says to me, I suppose, hey? Thanks a lot. Okay, so apart from, okay, before I should actually end the video, there's actually missed opportunities that I didn't even realise. We've got some Welsh poppy that's growing in the backyard garden, and there's also these weird looking flowers in the backyard, which I've got no idea, but it comes from this giant towering looking plant, which I've never ever expected to see in the backyard garden. That's pretty amazing. But I'm going to go downstairs for a bit. Oh, right. There's also, yes, okay, something not very good here. I might have to probably eradicate that big dandelion plant. Okay, it's got like big spikes, so I might have to probably eradicate this in another video, but I might as well just head back into my house. I need to try and do some stuff. In that case, stay tuned for the next backyard gardening tours. If not, you might as well just want to wait for more delayed uploads because, hey, clearly I'm starting to make some space for more future videos to be made on YouTube. In particular on my YouTube channel, I suppose, hey? Right. Anyways, I think I should probably leave this video here. This video is getting a little bit way too long than what I normally produce on the site because, hey, I've been doing a lot of transplanting and a bit of diligent and meticulous work on naming all these plants and also tidying up just a bit, eh? Man, maybe I didn't tidy up the rest of it, but there you go. This is what my video is all about, just backyard gardening tours and things like that. So if you really enjoyed this relatively strange backyard gardening tour, please give this video a very good like, subscribe for more flip-out videos in the future, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and bye for now.